Okay, well, you're not doing so great after all, I suppose.
Ja! Dizzards, scoundrels, tartmongers. They attacked me, but I fended them off.
Is that so?
They sent a brigand to finish the job.
Slow down just a second here. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Ran into them outside, claimed monsters attacked. They ran, made it out, but you got stuck inside. They asked me to help you.
Is that what they told you? The lying weasels. More trickery on their part, I'm certain.
Whoa, slow down. What's this about?
I heard, yeah, that they had a history of fighting.
Victor Monar, you may have heard of. A cognac distiller he was, famed for it. Before he passed, my brothers and I would quarrel over who would inherit the family business. So father decided he would force us to work together. He broke his still down into its parts. 3 of them he hid, telling each of us the location of one.
Ah, so he just got one of them, right? In the water?
My part, the last, was hidden in here. They decided they did not need me anymore. They decided to cut me out of the business. Literally. We argued, fought. The noise must have woken the beasts. My brothers ran for the mouth, while I ran deeper in.
Okay, that starts to make some sense. We did find the missing part. Couldn't care less about your missing part, but we do have it.
So you came here to find a piece of a still. Mean this thing?
Yes. Where did you find it?
At the bottom of a burning lake.
Pool of a hot spring. Really hit it well, your father.
Your pay. It is not much, I know, but I promise you good prices. The best once the tavern is open again.
Hold you to that. Now let's go. Brothers are probably getting antsy.
Is there anything in this little area, though? We didn't really get a chance to explore that alcove in which Hugo was, but hopefully there isn't really anything there.
My brothers. They've rounded up some thugs. They mean to attack me.
We don't know that.
I mean, it doesn't look good.
It's a coincidence.
He's not wrong about that.
With an armed band? They've come for the last part of the still. They won't kill me for it. Please, you my only hope. Kill them. Elsewise, they'll kill me.
We'll try to
You
negotiate,
want that?
Well,
and then if we can't,
perhaps
then
not
we'll
them,
fight people.
But the other roughs, for certain.
Random bandits, yeah. More inclined to fight them.
No. You couldn't perhaps render them harmless? Will you defend me?
Okay. This is interesting, though. This framing is, I mean, I would like to avoid killing the brothers. I don't really care about the bandits. But, this implies that, oh, we're just gonna go in there all bloodthirsty and slaughter everyone and everything that breathes. Whereas this one is like, I don't want to touch a fly or step on a blade of grass, otherwise I might hurt it. And kind of looking for something that's more in the middle ground, but he's not here. So this is maybe... I fear that this one would lead to us just slaughtering the brothers, which is definitely not what I want to do. So although this is a little bit extreme, I'm leaning toward this, although then I could see it backfiring and being like, okay, well, then we're not defending him, so the bandits walk in and slaughter Hugo. So, again, like, the phrasing is not great here on the previews. So, it does mean that whatever option we do take, it's not going to be what I want it to be. It's a little frustrating. But, I mean, at least from this, it basically seems like, at the very least, we can look at it as protect Hugo, protect the other brothers. And if we have to choose, I guess I'd say Hugo, based on how the brothers do seem to have been after him. Let's go for this. But I would rather not kill the brothers if we have a choice. But as Geralt just said, we may not have a choice.
I shall wait here.
The killer rabbit!
Ah, Witcher! What are you doing?
Teaching you some decency.
He's gone mad. Hold him
Okay.
back.
We're just fighting huntsmen and bandits, or are we also fighting the brothers?
Take him alive.
That is one of the brothers. This is not Auguste. Hold on. Auguste, Lucian, those are the two brothers, right? Okay, so this is exactly what I did. Like, come on, Witcher. Come on. I don't like this. I mean, it's happened before, and when it happened before, it was atrociously awful. I'm, of course, referring to HERMIT. This is not what I wanted. This is what I'm mad about. I'm not mad about fighting people. I'm mad about misleading game prompts that don't allow me to do the thing that I want to do. If you tell me what's more explicitly what's going to happen, rather than this, like, kill everyone, like, I kind of want to just reset here, because this is very much not what I wanted to do. And I feel like the game kind of just did us dirty here by giving us a description that was not really indicative of what the result was going to be. And granted, like I said, it did kind of frame it as if it was something where we could take sides. One case with Hugo, one case with the brothers. And it didn't seem like it was really giving us the middle ground that I was looking for. But like I said, if anything, I would have preferred to have sided with Hugo. So this was maybe the high risk, high reward option, in which I was hoping to fight the bandits and not fight the brothers, but obviously that's not happening. So yeah, in the interest of doing the thing that I actually want to do, I would like to reset. Right, but there's no middle ground, which is what I was looking for. Which, like, okay, fair, I suppose. Well, yeah, the problem is, Hugo said, are you willing to defend me? And if you can at least fight off the bandits and the huntsmen, then that would be fantastic. As for my brothers, maybe that's a different story. You know, maybe you can spare them. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fight the bandits and the huntsmen and spare the brothers. But that's not an option. Or at least, based on this prompt, that's not an option. So the game led me to believe there is a potential option that did not exist. And for that reason, I feel misled. And so that makes me frustrated with the game, because the game has done this before. So I'm going to reset. I'm not happy about it, but I will reload. And let me double check which one this would be. So yeah, like, it was obvious we were going to fight somebody here. It was not obvious that we were going to have no option but to kill the brothers. We were led to believe that there was going to at least be some way to refrain from doing that. And that frustrates me that it did that. Wait, how far back was this? We looted this stuff in here? We looted this stuff in here, but I think we've not yet talked to Hugo. Okay, hold on. This one was not the most recent. Well, I deliberately didn't pick the most recent save because I thought that was going to be maybe after we made this decision. It might still be. But yeah, in my eyes, it's kind of cardinal sin. If you're going to have a decision-making game, or a game in which decisions matter, then those decisions need to be very clear. You can't punish people for doing things that are not what they intended to do. And that's what happened here. It's what happened with HERMIT. And that, to be brutally honest, I almost stopped the entire series when HERMIT happened, because I was so mad when that happened. So unbelievably mad that that happened. So, you know, it's, for that reason, it is something that is my biggest slight against The Witcher. And so to see it come up, not as bad as HERMIT. That one was more misleading and was more consequential. But, or at least certainly seems to be. But, that's a huge no-no. So, we'll redo this conversation here, but we will take a different action on the final decision.
They made it out, but you
I'll skip this through, because of course we've seen this.
Before he broke his... we argued.
Okay, so we found the missing part.
Yeah.
Bottom of the pool.
Your pay.
Hold for that.
Okay,
Now let's go.
so we got this. Now we see the brothers. We see the bandits.
See that?
We don't know that.
Would you try to tell me it's a coincidence that they return?
So 1 second, I
with
want
an
to see
armed band?
what the phrasing is
They've
here.
come for the last part of the still.
So they want to
They
kill
want
him.
to kill me for it. Please, you my only hope.
Kill them.
them.
Who does them
That's why
refer
it's
to? He
them
was just
kill
talking
me.
about the hunters,
Kill
not
your
the brothers.
brothers.
Kill your
You
brothers,
want that?
Geralt asks.
Well, perhaps.
Perhaps
them.
not them. Implies that it's possible not to kill the brothers. Just kill the other roughs. That is what I wanted to do. This line right here implies that that is possible, but it is not possible. This is misleading.
Will you defend me?
Will you defend me? Does not say that that we are defending him against his brothers. Again, was most recently referring to just the huntsmen and the bandits. So implying that we are defending him against the huntsmen and the bandits. That is why that's misleading.
Not about to start cutting folk down because of a family squabble about some spare bit of machinery. We're going over there, and you're gonna settle this. Talk it out.
But should they attack, you will protect me, will you not?
If they attack, unprovoked. Let's go.
Hugo! Are you well?
We were worried.
So yes, my preference is to try to talk this out and go the diplomatic route here.
Listen, while you were
At
in
least
there,
with the brothers.
We realized this tiff is senseless, idiotic. You might have been harmed, gravely, and that's something we could never live down.
Sure.
She's right. We must bury this hatchet, work together as father wished it.
So, but it does beg the question why you brought the huntsman.
Claim to come in peace. But then who are these men?
Hunters who had made camp nearby.
Who just
They
coincidentally
spotted
happened to
us
be here.
and asked if we had no need for their aid.
You went in, we're gone a long time. With these men to help, we thought we might come to your rescue.
Kind of doubt that, but what about the pay?
All right, glad to see you've made up. Now I really need to get back to my own affairs.
Naturally. Your payment.
We thank you for your help. Should you ever find yourself near the Clever Clogs, you must stop in.
What?
Superb
We heard of that place?
cognac. Some of the best.
Will do. So long.
Okay, and now we do possess the virtue of wisdom. So I'm sorry for the quote-unquote save scumming there, but as I said, that is a huge thing, especially after what happened with HERMIT, is that I have not forgiven the game. After almost an entire year, I've still not forgiven The Witcher for that one. And so I, for that reason, very much did not want that to repeat itself. And so that's why I rewound the clock there to redo that. So I understand why that may seem frustrating for you to see me reverse my decision there, but ultimately it did not do the thing that I was trying to do, and that was make peace with the brothers at least. Didn't care about the bandits, but again, no middle ground there, and ultimately, like, I suppose it didn't really matter if we like, I didn't need to kill the bandits, per se. It was more so just that, if the bandits were a necessary collateral, then so be it. The reason why I didn't immediately go for the peace option the first time round was because, again, Witcher, unclear consequences with some of the options. I wasn't sure if it was going to be, okay, well, we said we're not going to defend him, so we walk in there, Hugo walks up to 10 huntsmen who immediately slaughter him, and the guy who is more innocent than the other guys dies, and we sit there like, oh, well, we knew better, but he died anyway because we chose the other option. So it's a tightrope to walk, but, you know, that's what happens when you have a game where serious consequences depend on specific phrasing and implications, and so it makes me frustrated. It makes me very frustrated when the game implies one thing that is not possible, or whatnot. But Anyways, that's enough about that. Yeah, but there have been many, many times when we've said things like that, and it's still backfired. Again, it's all about consistency. Like, what you say needs to be the thing that happens. Let's fight whatever this thing is. But anyways, that's enough about that. I want to stop complaining, because I know that's going to just come across as me being a sourpuss. What level is this forktail? 45. Okay, this is a nasty forktail. I would like to ignore you. And get the coin back on, preferably. Oh, you missed, buddy, old pal. Get crits. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so, return to the Hermit. Ah, right, we can now return to the Hermit. So, what was that sound? I don't know what that sound was. But, the Hermit. He's actually not far from here. He's actually quite close to this, in fact. We might as well just walk over there. Now we got access to the best prices. Sure. Okay. The Hermit's right over here. Yeah, the three brothers. Yeah, I don't know where exactly their place was that they were referring to. But anyways, on to the Hermit. Let's save here, maybe. And walk on water for a little while.
You have proven the 5 chivalric virtues dwell in your heart.
Mean the sword's mine? I can dive in and
Geralt's like, that's all I care
The
about.
sword deserves the hand of a master. You must prove your skills are worthy through combat atop the water's surface.
Oh.
Are you ready?
I guess. Are we fighting you? Or are we fighting? What are we fighting?
Anytime.
Then draw your blade.
Yeah, it's not gonna be that straightforward. It's just fighting a random hermit, right? Does he have, like, water superpower? He has water superpowers. Of course he has water superpowers. Why wouldn't he have water superpowers? He also can use the Force. I mean, to be fair, we kind of can as well. Oh! That got very bright. He wasn't too bad, it didn't seem.
Proven worthy of wielding the blade, beyond all doubt.
Oh. Now you can actually step in, which is actually useful on this occasion. He did not even take a breath or anything. He just did not care about going underwater, did he?
Behold, your AERONDIGHT.
The Lady of the Lake?
We've met before.
That we have.
Certainly. The hermit admitted he knew you, remember?
The Lady of the Lake.
It is I. Forget not that you are a man right and honorable, devoted to doing good. And for these reasons you received the blade. Now bear it. And I trust
It even has wolves on it.
You shall not lose it.
Now here's a sword from The Witcher 1. And what was it the best sword? Was it the best sword in The Witcher 1? It was up there.
Just wonderful.
And then we fall in the water as soon as we pick it up. Yeah, so we met the Lady of the Lake, and actually did a fair bit of chatting with her in The Witcher 1. Let's check out the sword. So, very high damage. Silver sword. Each blow generates charges, which increase sword damage by 10%. Sword damage goes up 10% every hit. A fully charged sword always deals critical damage. 100% crit chance? You have my attention. Killing a foe with a fully loaded sword will expend its charge to permanently increase the weapon's damage? Damage is currently, or extra damage is currently 0, but can go up to a maximum of 10, increasing along with your character level. Oh. Oh. Now that's nifty. So is it always the same level as we are? Because it's level 43 here. And does that mean that, like, technically speaking, if you deliberately delay this quest as long as possible, you can make sure that this sword gets a little bit stronger, and since it's probably the strongest sword in the game, that's technically preferable? Is that a thing? Do people do that? Yeah, you gotta remember this sword. Gotta remember this sword. Is it a little odd that the sword that the Lady of the Lake gave us happens to have wolves on the hilt as if it were custom made just for us? Yeah, it's a little weird. Granted, is it a sword that we previously owned? Yes. Damage does increase with each level, so it doesn't matter when you pick it up. Okay, cool, cool. Also, wait, hold on. I saw... Oh, no, I was gonna say, I thought I saw that one of our weapons had, like, 97% durability, and yet it was not dealing full damage at the time, so I was like, how does that work? But no, okay. So I believe that means we have probably the sword that we will use for, I imagine, the rest of the game, for our silver sword slot, at the very least. Unless, of course, you know, we could throw on another sword from a given Witcher school, which might be necessary to get the full bonuses. So that could potentially be worth doing. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Speaking of Witcher school gear, I think there were... Wasn't the, one of the Witcher school gears was over here. It's the Manticore, wasn't it? There it is. Manticore. Oh, we only got one of 6, and I think we did get the one over here, because it was the one in the graveyard, right? Well, we went to the master person to see if they could craft any Manticore stuff, and I didn't see it. I mean, we might have just glossed over it, but, okay. Other one is sending us over here. Okay, so it's not over here anymore. There is still this question mark over here. Was this the one that we tried going down to get previously? No, I don't think so. I think the one that we were seeing before was this place of power that we ultimately did get to. It was just buried in this cave. So what I'm wondering is it worth, while we're over here, for us to just take a minute to check this place out, and then we'll head back and do some other things, or do we just say that for a future occasion? This one here is dangerously close to the main quest? Or are you saying this new Manticore one is? So yeah, if something's close to something we're gonna do for the main quest, and it potentially puts us in spoilery territory or just generally messes things up, then, you know, obviously we should probably refrain from doing that. Manticore one is? Okay. So let's not do that. Yeah, I wasn't really planning on doing it anyway, because initially I was thinking we'd do it if it was still close by, but I think we did get this one here. So we got the one that's close anyway. But if this one is not tied to the main quest, then we might stop off here. Let's give this a shot, maybe. And maybe even get the chance to test out the new sword. So with silver, that means against monsters is where we'll get the chance to use it. Also, it does not only gain power when we level up, it also gains power if we get like 10 successive hits in a battle with it. And it can do that 10 times. So that's all the more reason for us to try to start fighting stuff as quickly as possible. Start getting it powered up. And we've been to in and around some of these places. Like, of course, at least short term as we're running past. Definitely the graveyard area. We've been there. But we might find some things that we've not yet encountered. Maybe we stick to the path here. Not necessarily sure we were hanging out on the path previously. Yeah, but that's the graveyard where we were previously. So, been there, done that. It's just herbs. I think it's just herbs. Looked like a house on the map. On the mini-map, at least. Got my hopes up a bit. This is a house. Or at least, looks like it. Have we been here? Or is this new to us? Can we go in here? We cannot go in here. Here, horses. There are... Oh, boar over there. Okay, there was also this little notice over here. Let's just see who they're after this time. This time it is in accordance with Article 161 of the Ducal Code. Attorney General of the City of Beauclair has designated a reward to be given to whomever shall bring before the court one Loth, son of Mark, alias, yeah, half-breed. Okay, so we have seen that one. Does make you wonder if we'll encounter those guys at any point. We may. It's a masterpiece. It increases only when you use it. But yeah, so like if we say we're to fight these boar here and hit them a lot. No, but these boar aren't necessarily monsters, right? So are they actually, yeah, they're steel sword. They're not silver, so this doesn't really help us in that regard. Oh, okay, game getting a little framey. Here, hold up. There's the other one. There it is. Not so fast. Oh, whoa. Love how we got thrown in the opposite direction from where it was charging us from. Alright, well, I mean, we did go in the direction that it came from. Not the direction in which it was going. Okay, one down. That was definitely the one that we were attacking more aggressively. Come at me, bro. And by bro, I mean boar. And by boar, I mean hold on just a second, because if you could just wait till we get our stamina back. Now! Now come at us. If it's running, how dare you?
Lost your nerve?
Have you lost your nerve? Perhaps you have. This almost looks like an entrance. It looks cool. At the very least, I can tell you that much. We'll burn the flowers down while we're at it. Rude. Also, wow. Rude and high damage. What's the matter? Is there anything over here? Looks interesting. Little waterfall area. But perhaps not. Yeah, so like obviously not gonna be powered up at all here. That also looks like the same half-breed do. That was supposed to be food. That sounded like Maybe a Cyclops? Yeah. You just chilling over there? Shouting at somebody? Having a shouting match? Maybe? Let's save real quick. What is going on here? Abandoned site. Okay, do we just need to get rid of the Cyclops to free the abandoned site? Perhaps? Okay, so he was shouting, and now he's sleeping. Level 43 Cyclops. That is kind of scary. That is kind of scary. Also, we are trapped. Which was perhaps even more scary. Oh, that hit us. Fortunately, Igni is absolutely frying him. It's like this would be an example of us using a silver sword and potentially getting a chance to power it up if we get, I think 10 hits in is what it was saying, but might not quite get that. We relied pretty heavily on the Igni. Yeah, we're getting rid of the mask. It's gotta go. Okay, so we can loot the Cyclops. It is, in fact, our job. You're not wrong. Is there anything of note here, though? Other than just random civilians? Oh, yes, hold on. That is a red glowing item right here. Unsent letter. To be delivered personally to Damien Delator, that is the Ducal Captain, Ducal Guard Captain. Dear Commander, the undersigned turn to you with a polite request to provide protection to our humble settlement on Cooper's Slope. We live in fear of acts of rampage and destruction on the part of giants descending from Mount Gorgon. As recently as a week ago, one such giant attacked our Cooper's workshop, destroyed our yard, stole one of the barrels, and put it on his head, as if donning a helm. Oh, was this, Goliath? The first boss we fought in Blood and Wine? Heedless to our warnings that this contradicted the item's intended use, and might lead to unpredictable side effects, it then fled toward the Santrator River. The Ducal paper pushers refuse to believe our words, and we are afraid those monsters will kill us all in our sleep. And thank you in advance for considering our humble plea. Amelia, Carol, Jacob, and Gregor. Not sure why Geralt took that as an opportunity to unsheath his sword on the civilians. Anything else over here? What? What? Was that a very delayed response to Geralt unsheathing the sword, even though I didn't press the unsheathed sword button? Because it kind of seemed like it might have been. Okay, so I think we've now done everything that we aimed to do over here. Remind me, we had put a marker over here. Oh, that's just because that's one of the estates. Okay. So, I think at this stage, we're looking to do, new quests. There are some treasure hunts that are now level 37 and are therefore great at, meaning we're getting the experience penalty, whatever that's worth. So we could do some of those. Out of curiosity, where are these? Are any of them relatively close by? This one is... I'm actually a little surprised we didn't see this before. We've been in this general area. Suppose it's fairly far into the lake, but that's not out of the question. Coin doesn't sink. Is up further. Oh. Huh? Oh, find the stash of the manure pile. Yes, we did see the manure pile, right? But I think we only recently got the key for it. I mean, we have a fast travel spot right next to it, so that would, in theory, be very quick. That might be worth doing. Then... Don't take candy from a stranger, I think is one we haven't checked the location of yet. And that is on this marker here. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, I'd say the one that's right on, was it the Coronada Vineyard? Seems like that's super quick, and we might as well do that. Oh, yes, that's one of the ones we were doing, right? We were kind of partway through that, and then we abandoned it a bit. So, that's on secondary quests. Where was it? Knight's Tales. So, in a logger's clearing near the village of Fox Hollow, and this is in this general area, right? So we might as well do it while we're here. In a logger's clearing near the village of Fox Hollow, Geralt happened upon a lumberjack named Jacob. The man claimed to have recently discovered an enchanted tree that seemed straight out of Herrera's tales. He believed a young woman was imprisoned in the tree and desperately wished to free her. Though not one to believe fables and similar tales, Geralt nonetheless had to admit the tree was peculiar. For cut with an axe head, it seeped not sap, but human blood. Jacob proved a true expert on tales. Lumberjack readily explained to Geralt that the woman enchanted in the tree was Daphne, transformed out of great longing due to her deep love for the knight Gareth, whose return she awaited. Gareth had gone off to scale Link's Crag, atop which he was to find the witch who dwelled there. He was to force her to lift the drought that plagued the land. Alas, the knight had not returned, and the tale from which the logger drew his knowledge said nothing about what had befallen the knight. If there was any answer to the mystery, it could only be found on Link's Crag. Okay, so that's the quest description at least. So, is there also a book that we should read on top of that, or will that description suffice, we think? I think if there was a book for it, it might have had sort of more fancy decoration. Might make it a little bit easier to spot. Possibly, if we are feeling like we need to read it again. Thought it was green? I might be totally making that up. But I didn't think it was the generic green book like that. Thought it was a little different. Definitely not one of the ones we have a bazillion copies of. Easier to find in books rather than inventory. Okay. Let's see, remind me, is it... Can we get to it just by... Yes, doing this. Okay. Tales and Fables. I assume it qualifies as a quest book. Tales and Fables. It'd be so great if this was alphabetical or really had any logic to the order in any way. This might be in chronological order, but it's not in the order in which we've... It's not the most recent stuff at the top, I don't think. We saw some pretty old things near the top. I might have glossed over it. That's certainly a possibility. My eyes might have... There it is. Okay. Sir Gareth and Miss Daphne loved each other so much it hurt. With the approval of his future father-in-law, Gareth had to perform 7 challenges. The 7th was the hardest. Gareth had to go to Link's Crag, find the witch who lives there and convince her to lift the drought that plagued the whole land. Everyone, including Daphne, pleaded with Gareth to humble himself before the witch. Humble before the witch. Okay, that's new relative to, or at least something that is distinct from the description that we've already read in the quest list. You see, the witch from Lynx Crag was spiteful and headstrong, even for a witch. Only an act of true humility could break her icy heart. Okay, so that is presumably going to be very important. We need to be humble around her. Gareth, however, had no intention of bending his knee before a witch. Instead, he planned to force her to lift the curse, which presumably is not the way to go. We are presumably going to be presented with at least two options, one of which will be the humble option, one of which will be the basically just like fight her option. Nobody knows what happened on Lynx Crag, but Gareth never returned to his beloved. Daphne stood on top of the hill and looked for him day and night. Finally, she turned into a tree so that she may live to see the return of her knight. Such was the strength of her longing and the power of her love. Anyone who plunged his axe blade into that tree would see blood run from the wound. Folks started to avoid that place, leaving Daphne in peace to wait for Gareth. In time, all had forgotten about her. Okay, so Gareth needs to go over there to confront a witch to lift a drought. Except he needs to be humble when he talks to the witch, but he probably was not, because that's apparently what Gareth does. He's full of himself. When we go there, we need to talk to the witch, we need to be humble, we need to try to lift the drought and see what we can do about Gareth. Ideally, bring him back. That, I think, is the plan. And it's, part of this challenge to prove his worth, which may or may not factor in. Okay. So that's the gist of it. Let's see, where... Oh, no, okay. I was going to say, I didn't think it was over there. It's because we don't have it active right now. It is not a treasure hunt. We're looking at it, but I guess we didn't make it our active quest. It is this one. Okay. So, thought it was pretty close. It's a bit further north. Actually, a fair bit further north. Is it worth... Is it worth maybe... like going back down here and fast traveling up to Fox Hollow? Or do we just walk it all the way there, or make a point of getting to the question marks on our way over and then go there directly? I think that might be better. By the time we backtrack, fast travel, and then it's probably a little bit less walking if we do go the fast tracking, or the fast traveling route, but it's a little less good for the question mark, so we'll stick with this, I suppose. Gives us a little bit more opportunity to explore the area, which, like I said, we've been around here a little bit, but not a lot.